so let's all put our hands together. Ready for some cheese? Hi, everybody! All right, hey guys, we're ready to start. Hi, everybody! Well, thanks for coming. Woo! Welcome to our Geekly Phoenix panel. We're going to be talking about the awesome, super cool things to do, maybe, in Phoenix and the surrounding areas. So, who here is a member of Geekly Phoenix? Yeah? Okay, guys, you're going to be addicted because we have right now we're Facebook. We have a Facebook page and group. Our group is over 3,000 people now. We list every day any nerd geek event that's posted that we see. We share it to the group. Whatever it is, we welcome you guys to share also, because we want to know and we want to support what's going on in our local community. So that's why we're doing this panel, because we want to keep our community strong, not just Phoenix Comicon. There is amazing things going on every week. You should see every week, most weeks, I post a rundown of what's going on in town, and there's at least 20 things every single week that are geek, nerd friendly, from families to adults, everything. So we have a vibrant community, so let's keep it vibrant. So we have some great panelists here for you today. So we'll just do a quick intro, and then we'll do a deep intro. Sound good?
Quick and then deep?
Quick and then deep.
Quick and Sounds deep. Like my prom night. Let's do it.
And then at the end, we have a great drawing from some local community vendors like The Grid, Barcade, Starfighters Arcade, NCT National Comedy Theater, all kinds of great stuff. We call classics, so go ahead, Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia Zolondz. How quick is this?
Sure, just
like just my name?
No, then what you do.
Oh, okay. I like to start events. Sometimes they don't go very long, but I still like to start the events. I helped create Phoenix DinoCon that went for 2 years, and last year I was part of a team that did a monthly pop culture happy hour called Radical Rankings. So.
I am Victor Moreno. I run something called Cult Classics AZ. If some of you have heard of it, that's awesome. Basically, we show movies from the past on the big screen, and try to make it like a little unique experience. And we also have a spin-off of that now called Jump Cut, which we do at a barcade in Mesa called The Grid. And basically for $7 you get to see like a really bad movie, or usually a really cool movie, and get to play video games for free the rest of the night. And you can drink beer. It's kind of cool.
Beer fan. My name is Russ Kazmierczak. I self-publish a mini comic book series called Amazing Arizona Comics, which satirizes Arizona news, history, and culture with superhero adventure, as it should be satirized. And I host a live local late night talk show called Phoenix Tonight, which is a Johnny Carson Tonight Show style talk show that features local talent, comedians, bands, guests, and comedy. So I'll talk more about that when we go deeper.
And I'm Ruby. I'm a moderator on Geekly. I also support Cult Classics. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like some of the cool props that you might see. That's sometimes neat. So yeah, we have fun. So let's talk about, first thing we're going to talk about is some of the stuff we like to do. So because we want to share that with you, and then we're going to ask a lot of questions. What do you guys want to know about? What do you not know that you want to know about? Like, where can I go for this? You know, just we'll do our best to field it. So for me, so let's start with Victor, because Victor's the first slide.
Oh, I'm the first.
What do you like to do, Victor?
What do I like to do? I like to go out and kind of, Phoenix is a really big place. It's too big in some ways. You know, where I'm originally from in California, there's sort of like, you can bike everywhere or walk places because there's, you know, lots of population infill, you know, so that means where there's lots of people living in one space, there's lots of things going on in that area. And in Phoenix, it's harder because of that. because it's the desert, it's really hot, it's kind of built more for people to come out here and retire. Little did they realize once they put a college here that young people would somehow decide they wanted to live here too, you know. So Kung Fu studios weren't enough to keep, you know, us satisfied. So we have to create little things. So like movie theaters, video arcades, these are things that are going to keep us active, and it's not just going to be restaurants. So I like to do things that are like new and neat. I like going to different local conventions, which there are a lot of, not just Phoenix Comicon, shockingly. I like going to like a lot of cool independent events. I like going to First Friday. I like going to like little art openings. I like, you know, kind of discovering new things. And, you know, I really like to see movies back in California, and there wasn't a lot of that when I moved out here. So one of the things, once I found friends who kind of were like-minded, was kind of decide, hey, I want to show these movies on the big screen. And I realized, you know, there's people who want to do this too and check it out, and not just like go into a theater and press play to see like The Goonies with like 30 people who want to spend $5 on a Tuesday, you know? So we came up with Cult Classics, which basically we take these old movies, we create t-shirts and prints and kind of like props, so you can take cool photos that aren't you don't have to pay for, but we create like this whole unique experience themed to the movie with funny trailers and clips, and people kind of took a following to it. And in June, at the end of June, it'll be 5 years we've been doing it, which is a really long time, especially out here. And then we've always wanted to show smaller movies, so we came up with this idea of Jump Cut, which is basically like, we show movies like Hackers or Johnny Mnemonic, like weird stuff like, why would you watch that in a theater? And like, well, it'd be fun to watch with your friends and kind of drink, and then afterwards like play arcade games. So that's kind of what Jump Cut became.
Can everybody in back here okay? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I like creating these kind of community movie events. And the next one we're going to be doing starts next week, and it's completely free. It's called Cult at Moxie, and it happens a couple times in June at this new theater, or at this new boutique hotel in Tempe called the Moxie, which is kind of like this like little hip place with free arcade games and stuff, and they have an outdoor screen, and we're going to show like Ninja Turtles on the 9th, this Thursday. And then the week after that, the 16th, I believe, we're going to show Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and you can bring your bike and watch it. It's like, yeah, it's like a bike
And
game.
it's by the pool.
By the pool, and it's free. So if you
somebody will steal your bike, but
yeah,
it's part of the
You have to go on
experience.
an adventure.
exactly.
And you guys are hearing this first because it hasn't been published online.
Yeah, we're debuting that knowledge here. And if you want to check out this Jump Cut thing we're doing, the next one is going to be at the very last Friday of June, and it's going to be a movie a lot of people have been asking us this weekend. It's really funny, and we love musicals, so we're showing Repo the Genetic Opera. Yeah, so that's what I do. One of the things I like to help build. So there we go. Along with Geekly, which Ruby will talk about more.
Okay, so I told you guys a little bit about Geekly. We have a flyer up here to help you remember where to find it. Facebook, Geekly PHX. It's a really big group. All this weekend we've been handing out flyers. People keep asking to join. We're super excited about that. It is events only. So it's hosting events, conversations about events. We've had people, we had a great post this morning I saw where somebody needed lost their badge, and somebody got them a free one. You know, just because that's the kind of, we want to build that kind of community. We're just here, and it's not just, it's everything, not just Phoenix Comicon. 365 days a year, there's awesome things. So, and that's what we're here to support. And so, where I like to go, man, I'm a huge fan of the barcades in this town. They are amazing. I'm super excited about this boom. My favorite's Starfighter. Starfighter's arcade, if you guys haven't been there, it's family friendly, no alcohol unless it's a special event. So, but it's you pay an admission and you get to play old classic pinball. Pinball is the best. I love pinball. So that reminds me of my youth. So it's so much fun, and then you get to play free all night after paying your admission. That's awesome, because I can play a lot of pinball and I will waste a lot more money than admission, I promise. And then it's all old 80s arcade games, 80s, 90s, everything's, so it's just super fun, it's chill, you can hang out, I love that place. And then also I really like the grid, and for the other side, they've got this amazing game called Killer Queen. Has anybody played Killer Queen? Anybody? You guys?
Not very well, but
You don't even need to know it well, but if you like strategy games and it's a team game, and there's a people who bring their kids in there and they play this team game, and there's some vicious little kids in there. You gotta watch that because there was one that was yelling at Victor the last time we were there. It was so funny. This little 9-year-old girl was like, "I want to be the queen." Anyways, it was awesome. So, and they've got this, and there's only 7 in the whole country, and it's 5 versus 5 people. And it's $1 a game, or if it's a free play night, like when we're playing a movie, you get to play free all night. And so 5 people, $1. That's really, you know, come on guys, cough up your quarter. It's really not that, you know, you can still afford laundry. And they have beer. And their food has gotten a lot better since they opened, I'm just saying. Because I can only handle so much fried food, but man, so that place is really cool.
They have a lot of vegan options.
A lot of vegan options, and yeah, their food is really solid. So, you know, if you want to go have a beer, have a drink, and then play a couple games, and yell at people and talk smack, because that is so much fun, just to say, you know, it's like bowling, you know, when you're just like, hey, you suck, in your face, you know, that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. So those are a few places I like to go in town. Those are my favorites. Like, yeah, that's in Mesa. Both of them are actually in Mesa. They're not anywhere near me because I live in Central Phoenix. And but it's worth a drive. You know, there's East Mesa, it's like Gilbert and Southern is the grid. And then Starfighters is on like Williams Field and
Across from Falcon Field.
yeah, it's not close, but man, that place is fun. So
But there's closer places too.
yeah, and then Cobra Arcade is the new one downtown. That's like the hit trendy spot for the kids. You know, I'm old, so but they've got great games and they have really good drinks. And then Bonus Round just opened last week. That's a new one. We've got a couple koozies up here to give away later from those guys, and they're going to be table game oriented. So if you're a D&D player, apparently the owners are mega nerd D&D people, and they're going to be starting some D&D nights. So if you like that kind of stuff, they've got Imperial Outpost, which is a game store, stocked their games. So they've got tons of games. The Grid also has games, but Bonus Round is Central Phoenix, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm kind of a barcade nerd, I guess. I like that stuff. So, and I like to drink while playing. So yay! All right. So next, Russ.
Okay. I'm first of all honored that you fit my entire last name in that speech bubble. Thank you very much.
That's Victor Stylens.
Thank you very much. Are we talking about the things we like to do or the things we are organized?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay. So first of all, I really like to stay indoors as a sensitively skinned redhead. It's best to find anything indoors. In fact, it was so hot today, just walking from my car to the con, it was so hot today.
how was it?
I'm so glad you asked. It was so hot today, my Hydro Man cosplay was au naturel. It was so hot today walking to the con, my Bobby Drake cosplay is in a bucket now. Some deep cuts.
I got it.
Thank you. But I'm a storyteller, and I like to not only tell tales, but hear them. And a lot of the events I like to attend in the Valley are intimate gatherings of fellow artists or performers that enjoy doing those kinds of things. So lately, I find myself in galleries on First Friday in downtown Central Phoenix, in the Roosevelt Row area, or specifically along Grand Avenue, if you guys are familiar with that. While I'm talking about the Fridays, I'll just say that downtown Mesa has a second Friday art walk. Downtown Chandler has a third Friday art walk. And Tempe has recently started, as far as I understand, a final Friday art crawl. And that's mostly because it's on Mill Avenue, and by 2 a.m. you will be crawling.
When is the final Friday?
It's the final
Friday.
It's the final Friday. It's the last Friday of the month. Tempe has begun opening galleries, and some of them are pop-up galleries. You'd have to seek them out, but when you do, they're very cool. Ash Avenue Comics on Ash Avenue and University has started a storytelling series called Untidy Secrets, and it's in their very small store, but it makes it intimate and cool. Storytellers get up and speak to specific themes, and they tell narratives or personal anecdotes that they've written, and it's in a comic book store, so it adds that element of kind of graphic visualization as storytellers read their narratives. So that's a lot of fun. I'm a poet. Are there any poetry people here? They might all be at the Poetry Slam right now. You get up and run out because you know now that's going on. There are a lot of great poetry venues in town too. My favorite is called Caffeine Corridor. It's the second Friday of the month, generally speaking. So if you're not on the east side of town enjoying downtown Mesa's second Friday, you can visit Caffeine Corridor, which is at 9 the Gallery on Grand Avenue. 7 o'clock every second Friday. They have an open mic, and then there are a couple of featured poets. So again, that's another one of those intimate venues that I like going to. And attendees range from anywhere between 15 to 40, 50 people, depending on who the featured poet is. And if you read there often enough, you may become a featured poet yourself. If you read during the open mic, befriend the hosts, and that's something you're looking to break into here in the Valley, that's a great chance to do so. I had mentioned my little talk show, so I'll mention that now too. Phoenix Tonight is the Valley's live local late night talk show that happens at Space 55, a theater at 7th Street and Pierce. It's generally every second weekend. It's a big weekend, the second weekend. First is the worst, second is the best, the third weekend, of course, is the one with the hairy chest. So the second weekend, people have heard that in the past, right? First is the worst, second is the best, third is the one with the hairy chest. Okay. What was that originally referring to? I don't know. Anyway. Huh? Girlfriends? My little sister? My college crushes? I don't know. But what was I talking about? Phoenix Tonight is the local late night talk show I host every second weekend. So the next show is actually this coming Friday, the 10th, June 10th, is it? At 10:30 p.m. So it is literally late, and it's live. So if you were to attend at Space 55, it's only $5 to get in. You would sit in an audience like this, we record it and post clips on YouTube later. We simulate the experience of a live studio audience. And some of the guests we've had have already been fantastic. Philip Haldeman, local actor that was in the cult movie The Room, was on my first show. Brian Augustine? I never say it right. The guy that created the Speed Force basically and helped write The Flash and edit The Flash. I'm sorry? Gotham by Gaslight, Crimson, he's known for a lot of stuff. He was a guest on my second show, Bruce St. James from KTAR, 92.3 FM, 9 to noon weekdays. He was my guest last month. So I've been able to, thanks to this unique format that hasn't been utilized here in Phoenix in a while, I've been able to get a lot of cool guests because they're excited to be on a talk show. So I would highly recommend you come to that, and not just because I host it, but because it's something I would genuinely attend if anybody else were hosting it. I've just taken on the mantle, like Dick Grayson for the 5th time. All right, I'll do it. Is there anybody else, Tim? But those are a lot of the things I like to do in town, and I'm sure as we talk more will come to mind, and we'll just start blurting things out. It'll just become like round robin.
Right, QA usually hits a lot of the stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
Julia.
Hi. So the kinds of things I like to do that are kind of more in the geek way is I like shopping geek a lot. And I am a huge proponent in the whole shop local movement. And luckily, the kinds of stores that are dorky and niche, they're usually local. So, I mean, I like going to Toy Anxiety, the local comic book shops, First Draft Book Bar, which is a Changing Hands. So the coolest thing about that store is that they actually, it's actually a bar that sells books. It's not a bookstore that sells alcohol. That's how you can walk around and shop for books and drink a beer, is that structure. So that's really cool. And I also, everything I've kind of created with friends or through myself is because I saw there's a lot of events, and I usually do keep up with Geekly, and that's how I find out about them. But then, so for example, we were at, my family and I were at Phoenix Comicon in 2011, 2012, and there was no dinosaur present, so we were really into dinosaurs as like adults, which is weird because it's usually 5-year-olds. And it's changed a lot, I've noticed. Like now there's dinosaurs everywhere. I saw a bunch. There's Jurassic Park cosplayers. But back then there really wasn't. So we're like, we want that, but we want dinosaurs. So how do we do that? And why I love Phoenix, why I love the geek scene in Phoenix is because The threshold to create something that you don't see currently is so low, and you're not going to get that in any other city. So if you're in Chicago, if you're in Austin, if you're in Portland, they have all their events, and they like their events. They don't want any new ones. But in Phoenix, the community is so supportive, and it's kind of the Wild West, that if you have this passion that you're like, yeah, I'm going to create this, you can find a local space for, you know, really low cost. You can find other people that are passionate. If you're really into really just anything, you can create something, and it's a really cool experience. One of the reasons why we wanted to create a monthly rotating happy hour downtown last year was because we wanted to keep the vibrancy of Comic-Con, just a little dose of it all year, especially in downtown, because it's so so spread out. So we're able to do that. So anytime you see, if you're walking around here and you see a niche that you want to fill because you're not noticing that your voice is being heard, this is a really good town to do that. So I totally encourage you to do that. Also, if you, I like the barcades, but for $10 on weeknights, you can play like 2 hours at Castles and Coasters, which I know is kind of shady, but they have awesome pinball. So.
Oh, all right, Castles and Coasters. I did not grow up in Phoenix, so I never have been to Castles and Coasters ever.
They have good pinball.
Yeah, I love pinball. I'm there. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Oops, that wasn't supposed to. Just try to
Go back to the originals.
Okay, so there we go. Hey. All right, so we want to open it up because Julia, by the way, so correct. That's how Victor started his cult classics. That's how Russ is starting his Phoenix tonight, because there's a niche that needs to be filled. Somebody's going to fill it. Why not you? You can start it. Somebody out there. Last year we had a guy come here to this talk, because we try to do this every year at Comic-Con, who wanted to start Godzilla theater. So he started Tonkatsu Theater, and he just got it off the ground. He's done about 3 of them now, and he's now doing Godzilla movies every once a month. Where is it?
Drawn to Comics.
At Drawn to Comics. You know, because he saw a niche. He loves Godzilla. He wants to see all the kaiju. So he shows them, and he shows them to whoever wants to show up. So we've got a friend in the audience here that has Doctor Who night every Tuesday at Gotham City Comics on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, family friendly. Come on out, guys. Hang out, watch 3 awesomely random but linked Doctor Who episodes from all genres, from all eras. So, and that's cool because the town needs that. This is a big city. So, anyway, so questions. Any questions? And what do you want to know about in town?
Oh, that last event you mentioned, where was that again?
Gotham City Comics. It's downtown Mesa.
Okay.
Yeah. It's on the light rail. Yes. Now it is. Awesome. Yeah.
It's from 6 to 9.
From 6 to 9 p.m. Okay.
Oh.
6 to 9 p.m. Here, this is Dwayne. He runs it. He's awesome.
My wife Rachel here. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. over at Gotham City every Tuesday evening. We do like a classic and a new Who right now. Always according to schedule, we'll be out of all the classics that we can show as a first run. Because it's taken us about 4 years to do that. But let's see, we're in the middle of Matt Smith right now because we show the new ones in order. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, I haven't seen this one, so it's like, okay, and then we'll do a classic one. We're doing what, John Pertwee? Yeah, we're doing. We're in the middle of a John Pertwee one, The Green Death, but then we're still doing the Matt Smith ones. But yeah, check it out. There is a Facebook page. It's got Doctor Who's Day at Gotham City Comics and Coffee. If you just put in Gotham, if you can find Gotham City Comics and Coffee, you can find the Doctor Who one.
It's right across the bay from Metropolis Comics and Coffee, apparently.
Hey, I like it.
Too soon.
Spider-Man man.
Thank you. And all these events can be found on Geekly Phoenix.
Yes.
So everybody. So if we couldn't remember where he's at, we can go to you guys and get all of his information.
Exactly, because we post it, they post it. We encourage everybody to contribute.
Is that a website or just a Facebook page?
It's on, right now it's on Facebook. We're working on a website, but we had to get ready for this first. So Comic-Con's big. Pirate Man.
I'm just wondering how many of these events are easily taken by the light rail? Like if we go into Phoenix, how many of them are walking distance from the light rail?
Quite a few of them. Like if you go to First Friday, if you've never been, First Friday is amazingly approachable. They have, it's on light rail. If you want to come and drive in, and you can park at the art museum, you can park, there's a couple places. They have a trolley system that'll take you everywhere on the route, all the way out to even Grand Avenue, and they'll take you back to your car. And during the hours, I think it goes till 10, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, there's a lot. The hardest part is West Side. The West Side's a little more difficult because it stops at 19th Avenue, you know, in Bethany, and there are a few good places on the West Side.
Actually, yeah, it's done. It's all the way to Dunlap.
Oh, it's all the way up to Dunlap now?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Never mind. I didn't realize it opened. Oh, okay, great.
And right on that light rail by the Dunlap is Bookman's, which has a ton.
That's northern.
Okay, well,
But it
anyway.
still does no light.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Light rail.
Northern is not that far from them.
Right.
Bike. Yeah.
Is there anything in the far, I mean, I live in the far west valley. Is there anything on West Valley like that's not like on the teen avenues, like anything like maybe near the 50 avenues, anything past that? You know anything of that?
What are you talking about?
There's
like any like maybe Goodyear, Avondale, Buckhead.
8-Bit Brewery?
yeah, I was gonna say 8-Bit Brewery is right now the up and coming thing.
Where's that at?
In West Valley. I'm gonna have to Google that. I don't know.
Yeah, if you join up on Geekly at facebook.com/group/Geekly Phoenix, all spelled out. They've posted quite a lot. They do a lot of events there at 8-Bit Brewery, and they're usually video game themed and whatnot. Also, if you're more into techie stuff, they have a hack space in Avondale called Gangplank, which every Wednesday night they do a hack night where you can learn how to like play with things like Arduino or different little projects. You can come in and meet with other tech people, and they have a lot of different workshops where you can sort of learn all sorts of like either technically oriented or just different sort of makery things. And there's a whole little network of these spaces between here and Utah. But out here, there's like there's one in Avondale, and I know that there's also one in Chandler, and there's other ones besides that. So if you go to gangplank.com, you can find out all about these. But I know that there's at least 2 on the west side. Cool. And there's some comic shops too. I think there's like Dr. Kamikaze's.
Dr. Fantasy?
Dr. Fantasy.
Yeah, well, John,
yeah.
Drawn to Comics, Jesse James Comics. 8-Bit Brewery also has a trivia night, Geeks Who Drink. If you guys haven't heard of Geeks Who Drink, they are across the valley, and they keep finding more and more places. This is the hardest, geekiest trivia you will ever play. And we used to be regulars until we get too busy sometimes, but it's so much fun. And there's only usually one max sports question, so you know it's for Geeks Who Drink. So, and
most of them are from the NFL Super Pro comic book, so I mean.
It's
awesome.
pro wrestling really is sport.
So I suggest that highly if you guys like to do trivia and you want to do something that's a little bit more fast-paced than the regular bar trivia. That's a really good one, and it's hard. Geeks Who Drink. Yeah, Geeks Who Drink, and then if you go to Geeks Who Drink, they post on Geekly about whenever they open up or they have a special one. Like they're doing a Disney one coming up. By the way, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing a Disney trivia.
Get ready to lose.
They just did a Seinfeld trivia. They do special themed. They do a Harry Potter trivia that I considered myself a Harry Potter nerd until I did Harry Potter trivia. And I was lost by the second round, and there's 8 rounds, and I'm like, I have no clue. I'm dumb. I don't even know. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm sure you told us this, but where do they meet Geeks Who Drink?
They are all over the valley. So as far as like 8-Bit on the West Valley to, I think they're going to be starting one up at the Grid Far East Valley. A ton of them central.
Bonus round is starting one soon.
Bonus round downtown, Devil's Advocate in Tempe. They all have, visit them because they've got a ton of nights, and they keep expanding.
GeeksWhoDrink.com, You can find out all about these different trivia nights put on by them. There's also a lot of different trivia groups in the Valley that do shows all over, West Side, East Side, Central, North. There's Team Trivia, which is the biggest sort of pub trivia provider in the Valley, and that one's a little more spread out. A lot of people enjoy that, and there's I think there's other ones I can't really specifically remember.
There's one guy in the group who's really active. He started his own custom trivia that involves
karaoke.
Yeah, karaoke. So if you like trivia karaoke,
it's called Trivioke.
And that's in Mesa Riverview.
Yeah, Rosati's Pizza and Sports Pub.
Yeah, so that's a new one that just started up a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago. So that he's trying to get that off the ground. So if you guys want to participate, and he posts in Geekly when it's happening. So that's your gateway. Questions? Come on, guys. What else do you want to see? Go ahead.
Does the Doctor Who night cost money?
No, it's free. We post everything from free to pay. And I try to post the information if I know it. Because I post, I'm telling you, I do a weekly rundown of. Even this weekend I posted a non-Comicon list of geek things to do, and I had a list of 30. So that's how vibrant our community is. So, and free, family, adult. Go ahead.
I love trivia as much as the next guy, but I also like physical activities. Are there a lot of?
What did I post last?
Ultimate Frisbee. I've seen a lot of that.
And there's a kickball league.
Yeah.
That's Sundays. But I don't know their name. It's been a while. And there's remember that paintball? There's a paintball group that does a zombie hunt with paintballs. But I couldn't tell you where it is.
Yeah, if you live in Tempe, there's a place called Main Event that's out I believe it's on Warner.
Yeah.
It's by IKEA.
Yeah, and they do a lot.
There's one on the West Valley too.
Yeah, on the west side, and they do a lot of paintball, laser tag, those sorts of activities. There's also Mesa. If you like roller skating, there is Mesa Skateland, and they do all sorts of different themed skating events.
Oh, Great Skate in Glendale.
Great Skate just had a superhero themed night.
They did.
Not too long ago. So.
And they did a Prince night, and they do an adults night, which I am all about. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So those all vary on your level of physical activity. I look at me. I don't do a lot of it, but I try to learn about it.
I mean, I got some yard work you could do, buddy. If you want to come on over, we'll read comics. You could pull some weeds for me.
It'd be fair trade.
Yeah.
Maybe you can start like a geek workout.
But here's something that does involve a little bit of that and some mental acuity. If you go not that far from here in downtown Phoenix, there's something called Escape the Room, where you can pay a certain fee, and you and a group of your friends can try to escape a room for entertainment.
I've always wanted to be in Saw.
Can I write a diary while I do that?
It sounds a little bit on the shady side, but for the most part, these are a lot of fun, and you get some recognition based on how quickly you escape the room. And they're usually themed. Like some of them are like actually Saw themed, and some of them are like crazy Sunset Boulevard. I escaped the weird baby fixated room. I don't know.
I think Fear Farm in the next couple of weeks is starting up a zombie hunt game. So then because they're finding more to use. It's kind of hot. I don't know what that'll be like, but might be interesting.
The zombie apocalypse could start in June. We can cater our training to the weather.
I was gonna say, killing me now.
But if you go on Geekly too, you can actually search for zombie paintball, which is something people did post about recently. I don't know how keen I would be to participate on that, but at least I'm not getting shot at. Am I right?
It doesn't start as zombie paintball, but halfway through everybody's just like, it's then the new batch comes, it must be zombie paintball.
And they're all covered in smeared paint.
All right, question right there.
So I actually used to go to NAU, and they had like a classic movie night that they held in their library. So if anyone's here from Flagstaff, I'm sure they still do that. It's like $2 for students, and you can go in and sit there, and they will give you like a little spiel about what the movie's about, and they have raffles and things that they give away, and then you watch a movie on a giant big screen.
And Burton Bar Library does that now, especially during the summer. They have a little classic movie series that are free to go to. Yeah. I don't know how good big the screen is compared to NAU. They got a few more, probably more money than Burton Bar, but.
Screen, you're like, oh, this is almost better than the movies.
And they do that monthly at Cityscape for free too.
Yes, they have
all year long.
Outdoor movies and storytelling events seem to be the really big trend right now in town. You'll see outdoor movies that you have to pay for. Don't pay for them. I'm just saying. Because you can find because there's one trying to come into town that has food trucks and it's an outdoor movie, and that's great. That's cool. I think it's a little pricey personally for the experience. But the thing is there's competing events that the cities put on. There's Peoria, Glendale, Phoenix, Mesa, downtown Mesa does a bunch, down Cityscape. They do the same exact thing with food trucks for free. So if and you're gonna, because you're sitting on the ground in the dirt, so why not just have it for free? So that's just my personal political message for you guys on the competing events, because I see a lot of events and I share what I want to go to. That's my role. It's like I'm going to share whatever I think is cool. Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And it might be the weirdest thing, but oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, like for the most part, how many of you guys just come to Phoenix Con?
Is this your event of the year?
Town, you mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. So basically, a lot of you guys this is like the main con of the year you go to, right? Okay, just so you know, there's lots and lots and lots of cool conventions in Phoenix that are fixated on all sorts of different subjects you might not even know about. Like, in case you really like toys, 2 weeks from now, I think Saturday, June 23rd, 5th?
25th.
25th at the Glendale Civic Auditorium.
Glendale Civic Center.
That's it, Civic Center. They're having something called ToyCon, which is basically a convention that's geared around people selling cool toys. And it's sort of retro vintage themed, but they also are getting kind of into doing video game stuff. And their main guests, and they have really cool guests, like they have the Honky Tonk Man from World Wrestling Federation in the 80s, and lots of cool stuff like that. And in August, the same people who do that are doing something called Game On Expo. Have any of you guys heard of that? A couple of you have. Well, Game On Expo, I'm trying to remember where it's at exactly.
It's at the Mesa Convention.
Mesa Convention Center. If you guys like video games, it's a retro home console themed video game convention, and their main two guests are the voice actors for Master Chief and Cortana from the Halo series.
That would be August 5th?
Yes.
That's June 7th.
Yeah, and if you like video games, once a year, also at the Mesa Convention Center, they have something called ZapCon, which is
my jam.
That's my favorite event of the entire year. I love it.
Exactly.
Hundreds of pinball games.
Yeah, what it is, it's a convention put on by fans of arcade consoles for fans. So if you own an arcade machine in good working condition or a pinball machine, you can bring it to the con and get it for free, and people get to play it all weekend. And then people who go there can vote on whether you have the best arcade machine. But for all of us, we pay a fee and we get to play these machines for free from like the 70s all the way to now, like Japanese fighting games. There was one called Puzzle Fighter that's basically you're playing competing like Candy Crush with like little gems, but then there's two fighting game characters. So as you finish more levels, your other character is getting hurt. Fighting through puzzles, this is the future, people. And then if you really like just comic books and less celebrities in January, and usually in January or February.
Well, a different definition of celebrity.
They have something called the Amazing Arizona Comicon, and that takes place over 3 days right here at the Phoenix Convention Center. And it's really cool. You get to meet the artists behind a lot of your favorite comic books. Some of the ones you see here with huge lines have really short lines there, and it's really interesting. And there's just a lot of cool stuff like that going on all year round that we try to post about.
Next weekend, Supernatural Convention, where the whole cast of Supernatural is going to be there. It's really expensive, but But if you got the money and you love Supernatural, man, that is the place to be.
That's here, right?
That's here, yeah.
So Sunday night when I pack up my table, I'm just pitching a tent right outside. I'm not leaving the grounds.
Maybe you can hide in a wall. There's some scary, there's some crazy.
I'm off-white enough. Maybe I could blend in.
There's also, so thinking of something cool that's brand new in town is there's a zine store that just opened. I think, Russ, you've done some stuff with them.
Yeah, Wasted Ink Zine Distros on University and 48th Street-ish. They're organizing a zine fest for October, and they're shopping venues right now, but that news will drop very soon. And Phoenix having a zine event of that caliber is long overdue, so I'm very excited about that one. So self-published. You don't know what a zine is? It's like a little self-published magazine. And
90s kids, right?
90s, it's like it's the mixed tape in print, I guess is how you put it. So that's coming soon. But in the meantime, you could go to the Wasted Ink Zine Distro. They're open Saturdays and Sundays, 11 to 4, I believe. A little off the beaten path on University, closer to that freeway like 48th Street, but a very cool little shop.
Yeah.
Before we continue, a hand keeps going up over here that we should.
Is there anything out there for geeky YouTubers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Geeky YouTubers? That's just YouTube, right?
That's at home, sitting watching.
I think you should start that.
Yes.
There'll be meetup groups specifically for YouTubers, and they'll have meetup groups that communicate and network for people.
I was going to say that Gangplank you talked about, too. I think they have like a free podcast room.
Exactly.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely do. The Chandler location definitely does.
Yeah, they have a really cool one. They actually have really neat murals in all of their project rooms. It's a really neat space. And if you go there on Wednesdays, hat tip, free pizza.
But what is a YouTube group? Is that a group that you get together and discuss producing YouTube series?
We run a kind of like a travel, our YouTube is called Subculture Recall. And so we just like doing different cultures and different groups of people. So it'd be cool to meet up with other YouTubers and, meet.
Cool.
Well, see, and that's one of the cool things you can do if you join up Geekly. You can probably find do a little post asking if people are interested in that, and see if you can build something like that up, like a little meetup. Because I know there's people who've done that, like all around, like the state. Like there's a guy up in Cottonwood who always posts on there trying to find different, comic friends, and now he's like doing a lot of comic artist shows. And he has an interesting name. I think it's the Janimal.
Oh, the Janimal.
Yes.
A friend of mine, the Janimal.
Yeah, so they do like shows up in Cottonwood. So, and then there's a guy who posted there who's trying to find friends who are interested in the same live action role playing system he's into. So that's a cool way just to find, because Meetup is really hard to find people who are really like trying to do this casually without a really, Meetup is very harsh and direct, as is Reddit. Yes, this is free and you can meet people. We've seen it happen all the time.
Go ahead.
Red shirt.
I was going to mention on top of that, there have been 2 separate tabletop RPG conventions kickstarted in Arizona.
Oh, that's right. I think I've heard of what is it, Critical Hit?
There's Critical Hit and there's MaricopaCon.
Yes, MaricopaCon sells out every year, doesn't it? That one,
yeah. You like have to get on Kickstarter, I think.
Yeah, because usually what happens is the weekend that happens, everyone's like, oh, how do I, oh, you can't go, you had to get in early, but it's really cool because they kind of keep it, very...
People are going to have too, which makes a big difference for like what they can plan for.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, because there's a lot of really small conventions that are just very much geared toward the people who like have been involved in certain fandoms for a long time. I know there's Leprechaun is one of them. It's sort of themed around like, it's called Leprechaun.
Just for me. If the elephant in the room is just for chopped redheaded guys, short chopped redheaded guys.
it was Leprechaun, not leper. Leprechaun.
Yeah, Leprechaun. I think they have a booth out here.
That explains why it's just me in a hotel.
Why does everybody else have bandages?
Yeah. They have a booth way out on the edge of Comic-Con vendor floor next to the Geico area. If you've seen the Geico area on the vendor floor, they're right by there. But they do a lot of fantasy programming, but it's really interesting. It's pretty much like 6 or 7 years ago, even though they usually only get a couple hundred people, they had George R.R. Martin there.
Wow.
Yeah, and George R.R. Martin is actually going to be here again in a few months in Tucson at a convention called TusCon. Not to be confused with Tucson Comic Con.
Yes. So if you want to go yell at him and say, "Why are you not at home writing?"
Get out of the car.
Right?
No, this is what you guys have to do if you go to TusCon and you see him walking towards the elevator. Hold the door!
You won't see it coming.
Like, yeah, that's the first time I've heard that. He doesn't cry. He doesn't. He has a cold, dead heart. Do you watch that show? You know it's true.
But are there any other like events you guys are curious about that we could try to shed some light on if they sort of exist here? All right, Chad, there.
Well, I'll ask you, or I'll tell you if you don't know. Where can we do scavenger hunts?
Scavenger hunts.
There is a treasure hunt that happens every October or November in Scottsdale. I think it's just called The Hunt, and it is one of the nation's longest running, if not the longest running scavenger hunt. It's right here in the valley. I've done it a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. I think if you just visit aztreasurehunt.org, do you know if I'm saying that right? Or, oh, yep, okay, aztreasurehunt.org. It's a lot of fun, pre-reg, it fills up fast, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's legit, it's very good.
I know another thing that usually happens is every year, going back to the theme of Supernatural, one of the actors there named Misha Collins, he does this thing called the greatest international scavenger hunt in the world ever. It's called Gish Wishes. I don't know what the last letter stands for. But you can form little teams, and he asks people to do certain things, and you know, if you participate, you can win, and it's just based all around little areas of the country, and they ask find a certain celebrity and get them to hold a pair of underwear or something. It's really random, but it actually benefits charity. So, any more? I know there's some people.
Oh, there was the guy behind Chad.
Yeah, I was just curious about like cosplay groups out there, because for, I don't know, me at least, Phoenix Comicon is the only time I've been able to share tips or tricks, or you know anything about that.
There are cosplay groups for every fandom you can think of. So, and then they break off because of politics into smaller ones, and then smaller ones and smaller ones. So, you know, just recently we started out with Arizona Ghostbusters. Now we have Phoenix Ghostbusters and Arizona Ghostbusters. There's the 501st Division for Stormtroopers. But they have very specific rules about what kind of costume you need to have, and how exact to the original movie replica. And so there's subgroups for the people who don't quite meet those rules or don't like their politics or so this is the place that here, all the little cons, amazing, this one.
I think FanFest is really geared towards cosplay.
Right.
I know Keen Halloween, which is starting up again in the fall. At the last couple of versions of it, had something called like an Iron Crow cosplay contest.
Yeah, it was a contest that just gave teams the whole a trash bag full of things. They had to build a costume live in front of you. It was amazing.
Yeah, and basically that's one way that you can meet people who do cosplay, because they tend to do a lot of panels about that there. And at a lot of these cons like Comic-Con and FanFest, and a lot of the anime cons especially are very much geared, because you can find out about the different materials used to build swords that aren't just foam, you know? So that's a good way to find out, is checking out those different kinds of cons.
Yeah, if you're into DIY or crafty things, Keen Halloween that's pretty much all it is. It's just how to make different things that are Halloween themed. It's a really, really cool convention. I'm super excited. It's gonna be back. And it's gonna be here at the Convention Center in September. Very excited.
About cosplay too, of course, the Arizona Avengers.
Oh, yes.
That I tried to join them, but they wanted me to register my outfit, so then a little splinter group of us broke off, and then there's an incident in an airport I can't talk about.
no, but it's like being in grade school. Hey, cool costume, can we be friends? Like, I know it's hard because we're all nerds and we're all a little introverted. This is as awkward as I can be is in front of you guys, but that's the best way is, hey, I like your shirt. I like that stuff too. Let's be friends, let's hang out. Where did you do that? Are you a group? Ask them those questions. Yeah. Get out there. That's how you meet people, especially when you like the weird stuff. That's the best way.
Yeah, and online is a stepping stone towards that.
Because if you go out and you want to venture, you want to make friends, you just go hang out where people, you like poetry, go hang out with people who are reading poetry. You'll start talking to each other. There is an amazing, going off on poetry, there's an amazing like slam poetry culture here in Arizona that I've just never seen. It's because I actually ran a slam poetry night back in my college in Minnesota. So that it was so hard just to get anybody out. And so here, there's nights every day of the week, I swear. There's Lawn Gnome has amazing literary events almost every single night of the week. And if it's not literary, it's comedy. There is so much comedy in town. And there's some great comedy. We have a good friend, Steve. He does specific nerd comedy. And he is so funny. And he's running a panel right now doing nerd comedy. So, otherwise he'd be here. And I would, every Thursday night at Third Space, there is a open mic, free comedy. Victor and I go to that pretty regularly. And there's always a rotating cast of local comedians. And they're always funny. I always laugh. There's always a couple that you're like, they're trying out new material or whatever, but there's always somebody who's just will have you belly laughing. And it's free, and they have drinks, whatever. So that's my pitch for that too. So, question, yes?
What's some good Halloween, Christmas Eve activities?
Oh boy, there's a lot.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough Halloween things. You could do something like every day in October.
Right.
But those change every year, so I definitely think paying attention to Geekly. There's enough haunted houses that you could go to different ones every day, every single day.
For holidays, I do post a geek guide to Halloween, a geek guide to Christmas, a geek guide to New Year's. I'll post all of the best stuff that I'm seeing because there's a lot of great things that are low-key in comic book shops and family-friendly, trick-or-treating all the way to like adult-themed bondage nights. I mean, you would not believe the fun stuff. So right now there's, I'm not even joking.
Any good Disney?
What?
Disney.
Saw some of that on the floor.
Disney groups. I don't know
of any Disney groups.
Yeah, you would know.
There's a cosplay princess group.
Yes, there is a princess group that does the Princess Project Arizona. Yeah, they do. They visit hospitals. They dress up like princesses and visit hospitals. They're great. I have a friend in that group. She's really cool. They have a table I think upstairs on in Heroes Alley. Mm-hmm.
Are you aware? I guess two different things. One, any other the retro gaming conventions like ZapCon. And then secondly, the tabletop board games beyond D&D that occur in Phoenix?
Oh, tons. Well, okay, so retro gaming, that's stuck
Game
to
on Expo.
Game on Expo, and because that is a component. They do a lot of the console gaming, but they also have the vintage. ZapCon, Starfighters Arcade is ongoing every night.
They've impressed me with the quality of the cabinets and the fact that they go beyond like the general arcade stuff into some of the obscure like one-off titles.
Yeah, they have some like exclusives that they try out. There's that one evil one where you got that little spaceship that you got to get and it turns around all the time. Oh, I don't know the name of it, but it drives me crazy. It's really fun.
Or the Star Trek simulator. Like
Artemis.
Yeah.
The Grid has an Artemis game, which is if you want to simulate a mission crisis on a Star Trek Enterprise, they have that once a month at the Grid. Cool. Yeah, so that's really cool. For tabletop gaming, I'm going to say there's Phoenix Gaming Lounge, Imperial Outpost, the Grid. Because they do have a stock there. What's that? Game Depot. Oh yeah, Game Depot and Mesa. Yeah, they're a big one. They have great, and they all have tables for people to just come in and hang out.
Yeah.
The newest one is Bonus Run. We're gonna see what they do. They're just starting to do events, so we'll see what they do with the tabletop gaming community too.
All right, last question here.
Yeah, I was going to throw out there that I'm one of the people who's like trying to get RPG nights going at Bonus Round.
Oh, nice.
And also, there's a new shop up in Scottsdale called Odyssey Games. It's very heavily like miniatures wargaming focused, but they're looking for RPG people too.
Okay.
And Mesa Comics.
And Mesa Comics?
Yeah, they do Magic tournaments and tabletop.
Okay, I didn't know that. Cool. All right, guys. So join Geekly, and then we have a raffle for some amazing stuff. So grab your tickets. Grab your tickets. Okay, so, dude. Okay. Starfighters passes. I got a pair of Starfighters. Ready? Last three numbers, 127. Anybody? All right.
We need a ticket.
You got it. Somebody got it.
You got a ticket?
These guys are all leaving, so we got enough prizes for everybody. And come up here and grab some flyers. 127. Somebody? Nobody got it? Oh, you got it.
127.
127. Okay. Here, pass this one to us. $30 gift card to National Comedy Theater. They're an improv group at NCT right by Fiesta Mall. These guys are awesome. Chrissy's here doing 1,000-pound panels. She has a podcast just about Keanu Reeves. She's amazing. So you guys are gonna love her. 072. All right, man.
There you go.
Pillaging those tickets.
Oh yeah, get some of these coupons there to enjoy too.
I'll trust it.
There's coupons here for you.
And if those comedians don't make you laugh, you can give them the hook. Am I right? He's a pirate.
All right, grid T-shirt 085. Sweet. Come on over here.
Right.
This is the one that recently was endorsed by Ralph Macchio. So
put him in a body bag.
Okay,
what's that quote?
Let's see, we have.
Put him in a body bag.
Thanks. All right, we have a Legend T-shirt, thanks to Cult Classics. Yes, Tim Curry as Danzig. Number 111. Come on up. All right, courtesy. Koozies. Bonus round, we got a couple of koozies. And what else we got? No. Is that just one ticket?
No.
Oh, okay. We get one of these way. Okay, a couple of koozies from bonus round and an Army of Darkness t-shirt. Yeah? Whoa. Right? I know. 086.
Agent 86.
Okay, we've got Starfighters t-shirts. These guys are amazing. Oh yeah, who won that last Starfighters? Who won the Starfighters? I think this is supposed to come up and grab this. Can I get that? Okay. Passes, Starfighters t-shirt. 092. Yay, 092. Awesome, congrats. Enjoy. It's really cool, as I can say enough. Let's see. NCT, $30 gift card again. 079. Anybody? 079? I had a bunch of people leave, so that's not. 125. Anybody? 125? All right, man. These guys are fantastic. Oops. Okay. We got so many t-shirts.
That's good because I see a lot of chests out there.
All right, we got another Army of Darkness and 2 tickets to see Aliens on June 18th with Cult Classics. Right? Aliens. 133.
Oh, jeez. Never.
133. 133. Aliens. Congrats. All right.
Excellent. Thank you. She took a flat.
All right. We got an accidental aliens ticket along with this cool Phantasm / Sons of Anarchy t-shirt. Yeah.
It's the loaners package, the one ticket in the Sons of Anarchy.
Meet some friends.
Wait, are there still tickets available for aliens?
Yes.
And yeah, Cult Classics is a great place to meet friends. We've already had a Cult Classics baby, and soon we're going to have a Cult Classics wedding.
Yeah.
So, and we've had a Cult Classics proposal. Yes. So there's been a lot of
not necessarily in that order.
Actually, exactly not. 3 different people. 3 different couples. 109. 109? Oh, okay.
Got it. 109.
109. All right. You know you want to meet your future missus?
There's a special reserve space.
No, they don't.
Right, exactly.
All right, and we have a Frankenstein bag thanks to Cult Classics as well, which is cool. I know Russ really wants this,
That's
so
really
if you guys want to donate to, because it's our last one, we don't have any at the table. Number 138. Nobody?
Oh, 079. Wow.
Alright guys, we've got coupons up here for NCT, for free popcorn and discounted beer and lots of flyers, so please come up, introduce yourselves. The first passes who won Starfighters, can you grab this t-shirt? It was supposed to be a package. Thank you so much
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get Chris?
Hey, what's up?
How are we?
Hey, no, we laughed. It wasn't weird. Pretty sure.
It's a close food, but you'll get out of it. Or actually, I think it's okay. This one has the URL.
Of you? We sneak out now.